Hello, this is Gio. Hey, look what I have here. I have some old realistic audio equipment here. I have an old CD player right here, and I have an old amplifier right on top, and I was hoping to plug those into some old Advent speakers, as you can see right here. But I do have a problem, and the problem is in this old amplifier. So if I turn this amplifier around, you can see all the inputs and outputs are basically old RCA inputs or connectors right here. But the speakers, or the wire that comes from the speakers, are just plain wires. They're not actually attached to any RCA plugs. So how do you actually connect this thing into the amplifier? And so this is what a typical RCA plug looks like, and it would be just kind of plugged in to the amp in this case right here. And a lot of older, even modern audio equipment uses these RCA plugs. Now I do want to note that the CD player itself has RCA plug-ins, but you don't typically want to plug in, let's say, a stereo record player or a CD player directly to speakers, because usually you need more amplification. Larger speakers really do need more ohms. And so that's why you need an amplifier like this one, which is compatible with your speakers. So sometimes, like CD players do have enough ohms to go into some small speakers, but really check your equipment to make sure that they're compatible. And so how do you go from a standard speaker wire like this to an RCA plug like this? I'll show you two ways today. So the first way is you basically have to take your RCA cable here, which I have one cable, I have two ends, and you're gonna have to actually repurpose them and cut them. So we're gonna just take one end here, take our snips, and we're gonna kinda cut it back here. It all depends on what you want. Don't make it too short, but you can make it longer if you want, but I think perhaps a length maybe right about here is good. So I'm just gonna snip both ends since I have two speakers. So I'll just snip that and snip that. And that just leaves the ends of the RCA connectors. And then you'll need a pair of wire strippers as you see here. And then you're just gonna kind of strip off the outer rubber and just kind of strip that off. And that'll expose kind of stringy wire, as you can see here. Here, let's peel that away. So that'll expose some stringy wire, as you can see here. I peeled that away, kind of cleaned it off. But you'll also get a inner wire, which is protected with some more insulation. So what I'm gonna do is just kind of collect this stringy wire and kind of just all kind of string it together. So it's essentially one wire. And then I'm gonna take my wire strippers again, and I'm going to remove the outer insulation for this inner wire here. Just like that. And so we have a wire here and a wire there. Okay, so I went ahead and did that with the other plug as well. Now the stringy wire that was basically surrounding this inner wire basically is connected to this outer kind of casing here for the RCA cable. So that basically is connected to that. And the inner wire, which I had to strip off the insulation to, is connected to this kind of plug end right here. And of course we had two wires coming from each speaker. And if you look at your wire carefully, you'll notice that commonly one has kind of a dark black stripe like this. The other one sometimes has a different colored stripe, but normally it doesn't have a stripe. But in this case, we have the black stripe right here. And that's basically associated with this outer kind of casing right there. And so all you need to do is basically connect the black wire with these stringy wires here that you kind of combined. And so we'll just kind of combine those just like that. And then the other wire will be connected to the one with the insulation that you stripped. And we'll connect that like that. And so these are just loosely wrapped right now, just for an example, but for a permanent connection, you probably want some shrink tube, and you either tape this up or use shrink tube, etc. But you typically want that black stripe wire to be associated with this outer casing here, and the non-stripe wire to be with this kind of plug end here. And basically this is the connection. And so even with this loosely wrapped connection, I could plug this in, and the amplifier should send a signal, correct signal, to the speaker. But there's actually an easier way to do this. You can go ahead and purchase these kind of RCA adapter plugs for speaker wires. And this is just one type. They all kind of look the same. You can just go ahead and Google speaker wire RCA adapter plugs, and you can find them online. You can find them on Amazon, etc. And typically one end looks like an typical RCA plug. The other one has a couple of holes for the speaker wire to go into, and usually little kind of like pressure release things. And if I zoom into the holes like this, you can see as I push these little buttons, there's a little kind of, you can see little pieces of metal kind of moving, and those are little clips that when I push down, it opens up the clip, and when I release, it closes the clip. So when I put in the wire, and these are typically black and red, and so you want to look for the wire with the black stripe will go into the black hole, and so you want to push that down, stick in the wire, and just lift up, and now this speaker wire is holding into this little adapter plug. And you do that to the other side as well. Push down the red button, stick in the wire, and now it's holding on nicely. And this is typically a permanent type of a connection. They can slip out. If they slip out, you just re-put them back in. But this could very well be a permanent type of solution. Or you can go ahead and use an old RCA cable, just kind of wire them up and tape them up and kind of use that as a permanent connection. Either way, it depends on what you have available, but either one will work. And so there you go. I hope this video helped you out. And if it did, please hit that like button at the bottom of the screen, and even consider subscribing to my channel. I have many more videos to come. Bye-bye.